How are you doing, everybody? Welcome to my webinar. Okay, thanks, Katerina. I guess I was caught singing. Maybe I will have a job in the music industry. Hello, everybody. How are you doing? Good morning, Katerina. Thanks. Good morning, all the guests. Rocas. Good morning. Xenaya. Xenaya from Latvia. Good morning. Spanish. Welcome. FX Rabbit. Good morning. Wrong again. But xenophobia. It's Xenaya. Xenia. Okay, Xenia. Sorry. When I was reviewing the webinar, the recorded webinar, I had a laugh like 20 times after seeing that part of the video. So I would like to thank everybody for showing up with this very particular Friday, because this is the first non-farm payroll number after Donald Trump swearing in as president, and I can bet you that for any reason we have a better than expected jobs number, thing that I believe will happen. This guy will say he's so good at creating jobs that he even created jobs without even doing anything. So yeah, this kind of guy, we can expect that. Today I will reduce my hours talking against Donald Trump. I want to focus on my just showing you more or less how my social contest account is doing. It's terrible, by the way. But I want to get a little bit in depth of the trades that I just opened in the trader account, in the trader contest account. Yeah, I am running high risks this time because it's non-farm payroll number, but I believe that my portfolio is kind of in equilibrium. So yeah, I could make it to the even after the weekend. The idea is to keep the trades open during the weekend. Since I don't foresee any kind of major risk so far, I believe that Donald Trump has been advised by somebody just to chill down a little bit and to calm down and to stop being that stamina driven, saying that he always was showing off that he's a stamina guy and I don't know what. But I believe that that's not good at this moment. So I believe that this weekend is going to be like more or less calm. I believe that he has been advised to chill down, to chill out a little bit, because yeah, words by themselves create problems. You don't need to throw a bomb in somebody's territory to create a problem. You can create problems only by the way you talk, the things you say, and he's being an expert on that. So yeah, I believe that we're going to have kind of a calm weekend. I don't even believe that this guy will try to exercise verboria after non-farm payroll number, whether to against or pro the number. I believe that he's going just to chill out. So that is why I believe that we can, or at least me, I can keep the trades open during the weekend. What I expect is that we will have a convincing jobs number, maybe above expectations. I don't know how much above. I've been failing forecasting this number lately, so don't trust me 100%. But I believe that in this case, we're going to have a very good number, jobs number. We need to wait and see. Anyways, I'm going to show you my trader contest portfolio to share you some things on how why I decided to open such trades. Okay, so but before we're start with the social trading contest account. Here it says, Karina says, Spanish says, sorry I was out cooking. Okay. What you cooked for all us? pasta, a pizza. And Karina says, thanks God. Why was that, Karina? Thanks God. By the way, did you find the customer service window to claim for the refund of the trial month of the year? I haven't found it. So if you find it, please let me know. Chicken breast. That I won't be talking about Trump again. Yeah, it's the same stuff, so yeah. As long as things stay the same, there's nothing new. If he chills down, chill out a little bit, or if he again goes in flames, I will comment that, but I believe that's going to be like the trend for these days. Yes, Yami. Okay, well, as you can see, I am terrible in this competition. I really don't know how even to succeed in this competition. Yesterday I was $43,000. No, I was $54,000 in the hole, and I am $60,000. Okay, so this is terrible. Just to give you an idea, this competition is so unique that the first place is only 118% in profit. Why I say only? Because if you go to the trader contest, actually you see somebody, the first place I believe is almost 200% already in profit. So yeah, it's way easier when you know how to trade to succeed in trading than copying others trades. Who said that? Spanish said he's going to tweet something crazy on the weekend. Come on, I would really like to have his fingers sticked or something, because yeah, it's incredible how easy this guy creates problems. He's such a conflicted person. Yeah, but I hope, at least for security reasons, that the Secret Service do its job and won't allow him to get near that Android phone that, by the way, it's hell dangerous that he continues holding that phone. I mean, I believe that the Secret Service needs to find a way to put that phone out of his hands, not because of tweeting, because of national security. So I hope these guys do their job and these guys simply stop tweeting during the weekend. So, well, I will close this. This is only, but look at this, providers 2 only. So as far as I know, if you only copy 2 providers, at the end you get penalizations. So yeah, I'm just finding out a way to trade it, but I was looking for some details because I wanted to see, okay, in this competition, who were the winners the last 6 months, to maybe go and see how they copy the trades or how they do this stuff. And when you check that out, you realize that pretty much every month everybody is different in this competition. I need to review that in depth, but that wouldn't surprise me, because of course it's a huge load of randomness, of luck, when you are copying other trades, because it's very difficult to get inside others' head to understand the reasoning behind the trade, to maybe detect if maybe he reacted after the fact, maybe chasing the price, or even buying at a resistance or selling at a support was a correct trade or not. So it's very difficult. What I was trying to do, of course I cannot do it 24 hours a day overall, because I trade my live accounts and I trade the trading contest accounts, is to monitor every trade, and the trades that I simply don't like, I close them in advance. I try to see the orders in the account, and if I don't like, for example, if I believe that something is going to go up and somebody puts a short position, I close it manually. But again, that is not copying, that is doing your trading. I said that at some time, that actually going into this competition, you need to be able to have reached at some point some skills as a trader, maybe in the break-even area. You need to know the basics to, for example, watch a negative trade of a trader and maybe go and check it out and immediately know if it was a bad luck, but it was a good trade at that moment, or it was a complete nonsense trade, just to maybe unsubscribe that trader. I will try to figure out this weekend how to at least end this competition, this social trading trader account competition, to break even. I'm already 60% in a loss, so that is pretty much difficult. Here it says, I won't trust money to someone else. Well, it depends. It depends in Spanish. If it's somebody that constantly makes you money, it would be hard not to trust somebody else the money. But in this case, first of all, is demo money. So yeah, it's easier that somebody runs risks without considering that fact that is demo money. And of course, if you're copying signals of a demo account to trade your live account, it engages a huge amount of risk. I agree with you in that. Okay, Spanish. You were talking about that case. Okay. Yeah, I suppose that. Well, this is my trading no, this is the social contest. As you can see, minus 60%. Look at this. I was not even in profit. I was like 1 hour in profit, and look at this. And supposedly I am copying the best performer, so I really don't know how this competition needs to be done to win something. Who are my thing? Let me put you that. Let me open the page. Well, as you can see, and according to my results, you need to exactly do the opposite I am doing. Okay, here are my. Let me take a screenshot. This is my provider list. This is Spanish Soros. I have seen guys go from 50,000 down to zero. Yes, actually that happened yesterday. I was copying, I'm going to tell you whom. I believe this was Ego Sapiens. Was like more or less this, but at some moments in yesterday he was at 10,000 in profit, and then he recovered, or she, I don't know if she's a woman or a man. So yeah, it happens. It happens very often. So well, these are the ones that I canceled the subscription. I believe that Magic FX have a margin call, so automatically I unsubscribed from him. This guy actually won the upper position of mine last trader competition. I am at least so far in the 15th position, and this guy was in the 14th. And in the first trade he did, he had a margin call. So that is exactly, I've been explaining in the webinars, that this is a skill that you need to develop. The trading competition pushes you to understand and to obey some limits. Artificial or auto-imposed or natural limits, but you need to trade inside limits. So if you have the possibility of opening 5 different trades at some moment, maximum $5 million, well, at the beginning when you're starting your account at $100,000, you cannot open 25 million position, just 10 million. So not because of that you will open 2 trades of 5 million. You can diversify 2 million in 5 trades and not necessarily open 5 trades. So this is the classic example what happens when somebody simply, I can tell you that if he had a margin call and his stop losses were not enough to stop that margin call happening, is because he didn't even took the patience of detecting the margin call level. Because actually the stop loss level is to avoid that, at least in the competition. Because a margin call costs you a lot in the competition. So yeah, these are the risks of, if you want to copy somebody's trades, these are the risks. This guy was 14th position last month. And this kind of mistake is like simply, I cannot understand how somebody ending in the 14th position could make this kind of mistakes. But well, it happens at times. Maestro Mil, I believe he's from Russia. You can see negative and negative. White Falcon, I started following him, but he started having some very chasing price, so I quit the following his signals. Now, as you can see, it's barely in profit. Fed Mohammed, this guy was in the 16th position, I believe, last month, just below me, and he's in a loss. Sultan, this is kind of a popular trader, at least in the Grand Prix, but he's in the hole now in the minus 25. But the problem with this guy is that he started chasing price. He made some really silly mistakes in some trades, buying at major resistances. So I just simply stopped copying and watching him, what he's going to do next. This is amazing. Pip Point was first place yesterday. And look at the balance now. It's $107,000. So this kind of volatility is the ones that, when you want to win this competition, simply knocks you out. You can actually, I mean, if you started following the 14th position, last month trader competition, and you have a margin call with those trades, it's kind of strange, right? Well, I believe that I just copied one trade. I closed, unsubscribed, and now he's having in a loss. I don't remember this guy. These are my actual subscribers now. I mean, the ones I am subscribed. Here it says FX Rabbit says that I have a lot of guys. Yeah, but maybe that's the problem. I believe that maybe here the clue is not diversification. The best start with fewer guys, maybe 3 maximum, and always keep a bigger slippage, because others get stuck and you need to close them manually. Oh, interesting, I didn't know that. If it doesn't have a take profit, and or if it doesn't have any name of a trader next to it, then close them manually to free up your margin. But it's supposed that all the trades in the trader competition should have take profit and stop loss. The account won't allow you to open any trade if it doesn't have those parameters. But you mean that even though you can receive signal without stop losses and take profit? Here, and having too many signal providers means you need that much balance to cover them all. So then it's best to use lower volume. Remember a Forex champion? I believe I do. Twice he went from 19,000 balance and trader contest to 0, top 1 to bottom 1,000. Oh my God. Well, that is simply not obeying a stop loss. That is having no margin, no money management. But well, maybe I am wrong, but it's simply not logic. It's not logical that somebody that gets that performance then suddenly loses it all. FX Rabbit says, yes, but there's a glitch on social trading contests with take profit and stop loss disappear, and sometimes even the trader's name. Yes, actually, I don't remember seeing any trader's name this time in the platform. Only a tag that says Android, maybe for the ones that open the trades from Android phones, but all the rest, no, they don't have the name of the trader. So that is not normal, right? Okay. I need to learn a lot of things on this competition. This guy, Bocata, I really like a lot how he trades. At times he's like I believe that he stresses, gets very nervous and start making some mistakes, but I like very much his style. Although in this month it's only 69% in profit, but I like this guy very much, his trading style, Bokata. This guy also, Ranier. And this Aslam Hamad was a former webinarist here in Dukascopy TV. I believe that he left, he quit broadcasting like 1 year ago because he moved to the United States or something. Yeah, he moved to the US, yeah. Hope that he's doing good there. And this woman, I believe it's from Hungary, won the 8th place last month, or at least is still in the 8th place, Victoria. AAA rated. The one that specifically I selected, that Skyfall tune, because he believed that yesterday my tune was that and didn't show up today. I'm following him, and he's 49% in profit. So yeah, I guess pretty much. I will check then if I have many signal providers, but the idea is that you need to subscribe to 10. But what I don't know is that every time that you need to subscribe to 10, on once you copy to 10 traders, you can maybe only follow 1 or 2, but you already copied 10 traders. I don't know the exact definition of that. Check who are the top 15 signal providers. Liker T is the champion. Yes, I saw a video of him explaining because he won the Trader of the Year, and apparently he made a killing in the Brexit trade, and I believe that he really did very well with that trade. I'm not sure, but I believe that trade was a killing for him, so I'm glad for him. Boris had the top signal providers belt. Now Liquor took over. Okay, and I don't know then why Liquidity doesn't show up in my list of top traders. I need to check that out. As you can see, I'm committing a lot of mistakes, right? Minus 60%. So let's go to my trades. As you remember, I like a lot to post in the Asian session after the American closing. I like to post some technical analysis, or at least my outlooks on some currencies for the ones that trade Asian session, because I believe are the ones with less facilities to trade because of the volumes, margins, spreads, and besides a lot of lack of information. So I believe that maybe that could help somebody, or at least to start figuring out the European trading plan. Oh, wait a second, I need to drink water. Okay, here it is. I posted here in the Traders blog my usual and daily webinar recording, and I tried to add a little bit of the description of what I was talking about in that webinar. Of course, yesterday I was very scared yesterday because of the latest news on Donald Trump, that apparently today the things settled a little bit, and well, I am calmer now. But yesterday I was talking about a trade that I opened in the Mexican peso at more or less, I believe, the 20.6, I believe, to the upside, and it made a dip close to the 24, and it recovered and then trying to break at this level. I don't know how it is performing now. I believe that it's doing okay. I believe so. Yeah, it's stabilized here. I was talking yesterday that the natural support for further gains in the Mexican peso, that is a no-brainer, that there are no fundamentals to sustain any further strengthening of the Mexican peso. So I believe that that is a major support zone, should work as the leverage point to try to retest the 22 area. Of course, that could take months or even 1 month. We need to remember that in the very case of NAFTA agreement between Canada, United States, and Mexico, it will take 90 days to renegotiate and to see if we will continue with it or not, or if we will renegotiate it, or to have a complete new trading agreement. So in the next 90 days, there are simply no reasons to trust further gains for the Mexican peso for natural reasons. Now maybe the fears are a little bit dissipated, so what I can expect is that between the 20.6 that now dipped close to the 20.4 up to the 22 will be the range for the next 90 days. Not straightforward from bottom to top, but well, I don't expect maybe in the next 90 days to have the 22 level broken convincingly anytime. Okay, so well, for the ones that are interested in watching or starting understanding the Mexican peso, here are my insights. As you can see, and this is why I like and I continue posting this kind of things in the Trader blog, because you can go there and check the trend lines that I drew here with the help of the free widget in Dukascopy J4X charting package. But I was explaining yesterday, I believe, that, or the day before, that when you really follow high quality charters patterns, you can actually go back in time and see how the levels of those charted patterns are still respected even after hours or even days. What happened here, for example. I was saying that, for example, in last webinar or something, that this precise level, the market made touch this to the pip, and it made an hour low, and now the market stabilized here, and now it's like hovering here, but just broke this. So yeah, this could give you an idea on what could be the next step for the Mexican peso. Fundamentally, and every single thing is pointing that this should at least retry at least the 2150. So yeah, having all these trend lines broken to the upside are like evidence piling up that at some time, at some moment, maybe this should continue going up. Again, I see it very difficult, the price to break below these levels, because fundamentally there are no reasons to do so. Okay. For the ones that like, go to the Trader's blog, or in my profile in the Trader Contest blog below at the very bottom where these posts show up, so you can go there and check out how the price action behaved after drawing some trend lines. Okay. And the other, this was the one that was aimed for Asian session. I will read it out loud. I believe that the most promising at that moment was the Australian dollar versus United States dollar, the 4-hour and 1-hour outlook, and I will read out loud what it said here. Here it says today the United States dollar, meaning yesterday, lost all the gain territory lately in accordance to the lack of clarity after the Fed's speech on the next steps in monetary policy. The flaming POTUS, with his unorthodox way to communicate his idea, is not helping the markets to feel comfortable taking risks above the average, still under this new administration. The best performer today was the Australian dollar versus the American dollar with the following characteristics. And this is where I throw both the scenarios, bullish and bearish, for the ones maybe that are considering taking either side of the trade. Maybe if I say something that they haven't considered, maybe they discard their initial bias, maybe they switch it, or maybe they confirm even further their bias. For example, here in the 4-hour chart, a chart is channel up plus daily and upper time frames. That word was missing here. Daily and upper time frames, and I mean weekly and monthly. Clear direction and strength to the upside suggest tech momentum in such direction. So understanding this, for the ones that maybe this bullish scenario is targeted to, is to the ones that are more position trading, swing trading, and fundamental trading. If you are really, for example, trading the trader competition, the trader contest, these kind of trades really, they don't make any sense to open them. But there are such a variety of traders and interest in the world that this could help the ones that maybe, well, if they are looking for going with the, let's call it trend, maybe they are having confirmations here, and they will go to the daily and the weekly and to check if those texts that I am talking about make sense to them. And besides, I draw this thing, right? Of course, here is just in the middle of the channel up, so it's like in no man's land. But again, this is only like drawing a line in the sand for the bulls. And in the other hand, here it says, the bearish side, we have a massive ascending triangle in the 1-hour chart, and this is actually massive. I'm going to show you. In the 1 hour, just testing the first take profit target, a mid 1 hour and lower time frame studies defiant to the downside. At that moment, of course, you can see the latest 12 hours. It has been to the downside from the almost the 77 to the 76.50. So yeah, that of course the intraday were showing weakness and selling interest. So here it depends on the plan and the idea and the overall understanding of the market structure of every participant to gather this with their own opinions and only use this as a complementary tool. Maybe if they missed, they skipped it. For example, this ascending triangle on the 1 hour, maybe that could change their idea, their bias, or maybe they decide to wait. Maybe they skip that. I try to cherry pick the most relevant information for a trade, for somebody wishing to open a trade, in this case in Aussie, regardless to the upside or downside, just to cherry pick the most important things they should focus on to get their own conclusions. Let me show you how that trade went. What have happened if you decided to open a trade there? Give me a second. And this is going to be helpful for the ones that are starting, that are already in the break-even area. This kind of little details on how we need to start understanding the price action during the days will start giving you an idea of what things you should focus on to decide eventually on opening or not a trade. Let me show you this. Just a second, please. This is the 1 hour chart. So what we have here is that the market just stabilized where it was. It just made this bottom up in the Asian session. It made like this V. So the markets could be preparing for something at this European session. Or of course, at least they are preparing to position themselves before the non-farm payroll thing. I believe that the market has a consensus that the number is going to be good, or at least the next expectations are going to be enhanced. So as you can see, the market made this low and then is retesting this moving average here. So yeah, the market didn't really make anything because of the time frames that I was analyzing. For example, if you analyze and I put a 4-hour outlook, you cannot expect that a trade open using that information to crystallize in the next 3 hours. Of course, that could take days. The hourly maybe could take one whole day, but both the 1 hour chart, this pattern that I just showed you, it was just in and I didn't show you this. That's important. Now the thing is that I cannot find that. Here it is. Here is the massive 1 hour ascending triangle that I was talking about in that post. And I was saying that one way to play the chartist patterns, for example, when you have these breakouts, and this is how you use these blue lines here. At least in my experience, this is the way I use it. I don't know if theoretically it's another way, but this is the way it works for me, and this is what I share here. Okay. Once you have a breakout in this kind of things, these magnitudes are the ones that you need to start considering. For example, here that the breakout started, you start measuring the let's say the swings from this level. So the first magnitude should be this one, this. As you can see, the market just fulfilled the first. The second one, the second magnitude is this. So if you put this line starting here, it was more or less here. So that is why I commented that in the hourlies, even though we are having a breakout here to the upside, we have actually tested the first natural take profit target of this pattern. Let's remember that chartist patterns, the most part of the times, fail. Well, not the most part. The 50% of the times they fail. Imagine a traditional way to have this pattern failed is that you have the price breaking here and not being able to reach the first natural take profit, just to stay shy before and retraces. That helps to 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. I believe I lost sound. Well, I will continue. So, well, even though we are having a breakout, we could believe that if the 4-hour chart, the daily and the weeklies are showing strength to the upside, and we're having in the 1 hour this very good triangle being broken to the upside, some people could believe that that is like a no-brainer buying signal. But we need to focus on the details. Like, okay, we just hit the first natural take profit target because this corresponds, this magnitude, this distance, to this distance. And actually, I could believe that maybe it's even higher. Maybe it's even this distance. So when you start having that, the most natural thing at this moment to happen is that the market will start taking profit here. And the take profit target here started having influence in the 1 hour chart, and then the 30-minute, the 15-minute, the hourlies were showing technicals to the downside, And the reason is this: a natural take profit target. So we need to understand the whole picture before deciding whether to go long or short. It's equal. It's the same. It's irrelevant what direction you take. I mean, of course, if you take you open trades that are always profitable, well, good for you. The idea is that depending on the expectations, the time frames, and the context, is your stop loss and take profit target needs to be adjusted. Remember that we were talking about some webinars before about a breakout on cable on a chartist pattern, that I was saying that if you wanted to play it in the direction of that moment fundamental direction, you could use wider stop losses. And if you're playing it against the fundamentals, you need to be very tight stop losses, because there is no reason to, if you're trading against the trend, the craziest thing that you can do is to have huge stop losses, because that is killing your own account. So having the idea of the whole context will make you adjust a realistic stop loss and take profit target. For example, if you decide to trade maybe the trend fundamental, if you want to call it that way, sustained in the latest weeklies and daily charts in the Australian dollar, and you are seeing that we are having weakness here, maybe if you want to buy, you should wait for the 30-minute chart, 15-minute chart, the hourly start showing some kind of neutrality, turning from the negative to the at least neutral, to then say, okay, I will find an entry point to the upside. In the other hand, if you believe that this could overextend because of some reason, then you could have a straightforward sold this, shorted this at this level. But you need to, there is where you apply that if you're playing it against a major trend, if you went short here and using a stop loss here is silly. It's useless. You need to find a way when you're trading against the fundamentals and the major trends. You need to push yourself to find a way in the intraday to find clear stop loss levels that are tighter than the ones that you could use if you're trading with the fundamentals, that fit your exact interest. For example, if you really don't want to have a trade open during the non-farm payroll today, maybe you need to start measuring the time frames to say, okay, you won't decide on the 1 hour chart, for example, to short. At this moment, for example, if you have found in the 1 hour chart that you can short now, but the non-farm payroll number is in 6 hours. So you need to consider all that. So if you have time in the trader contest and the trader blog, every day, or at least I try every day, at the beginning of the Asian session, cherry pick the best one that could represent a good trading opportunity for the day or for the next day, and to digest the most important aspects that you need to consider. Okay. Here we have some comments. Spanish, iiivb, sorry, have to go and have a nice weekend and see you on Monday. Okay, Spanish. Well, he just left. But okay, Spanish, see you on Monday. And what I'm going to talk with Karina, one question. We have a webinar just after, just to know if I can continue. In 5 minutes? Okay. Well, I would then just close the webinar now. I wanted to show you some of the trades in the Trader Contest account, but I believe that's going to be tomorrow on Monday. Hopefully, these trades, or at least some of the trades that I have opened in the Trader Contest account, should be closed either in a loss or in a profit by Monday, or at least to see how these trades are going to continue during after the weekend. I consider it to keep these trades open this time. Hope I don't regret it on Monday. And we will get into the reasons, more detailed reason of this specific trades. Difference between the post that I put in the trader blog is that it's a general thing, only as a tool for you to take your decisions. When I explain the trades in the trader contest, of course I explain everything, why, what I saw, if I saw a pattern, if I found it irrelevant, etc., and all the logic behind of my trade. So I believe those two aspects complement each other to give you an idea of more or less how, if you're like not grasping how a trading plan should look in your mind, in your imagination, more or less having an idea of how it looks in my mind could help you to figure out your own way. So I would like to thank everybody for showing up. And it's very nice that I finally found a way to push me to stop the webinars at the time they are. They are meant to be finished. It's a good thing. And I am glad that Rocas is going to broadcast in just 2 minutes. So stay here. Listen to him. I would like to stay, but I need to go to fix some stuff. But if you continue delivering webinars, of course, I will stay after mine to listen to you, Rocas. But this time maybe I will find it difficult to stay. FX Rabbit says, thanks for your webinar. As always, it's been fun and educational. Oh, well, thank you very much for those kind words. Overall, big thanks for the fun part. I believe that it's an important thing that we just don't consider trading as a very aristocratic thing. It's like a game. You can learn this easily in an easier way if you see it as fun, as a game, as if you were a child playing with your new toy. Katerina, thanks to you for recording and hosting as always. FX Rabbit, see you around soon. Rocas, thanks for coming. Hope on Monday, if you broadcast, I will stay in your webinar. Now, for me, it's impossible again. Karina, thanks for everything. Xenia, thanks for showing up. All the guests. FX Rabbit. Adiós, amigo. Que estés muy bien. So, I expect you on Monday at the same time, the same place. Remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel here. This is Alberto Alvarado. Remember to trade safe, be safe, and bye-bye.